Good morning, my name is Ken. I live in Central California and today is the 23rd day of November 2020. I wanted to show you how I've been occupying my time in this COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, prior to the 15th of March I have never sat in a kayak or anything like that, so I had a small aluminum boat, but I couldn't quite do my social distancing with an aluminum boat. I'm going to show you all of this, how it fits on there. I'm going to do it in a short amount of time. I'm going to set up the camera and start putting things on and talking to you as I go. First of all, I want to make a political statement real quick, okay? I just want to show you a quick sign that's hanging on my, well, two signs actually. Well, number one, there is my first political statement, right there. And that will fly at my house every day. I am retired from the United States Army after more than 20 years. This is my first statement that I want everybody to see if at all possible, including the very bottom line, okay? Now that's to all of those people, and here is the second half of that statement. I went to Vietnam. First of all, I went to Vietnam in 1965. I came home in 1967.
1966.
I was a very scared 18-year-old kid. So when I came back, at first, for the first 10 years, nobody said diddly to me, and I didn't tell them I was ever there. But then, I guess America woke up and they started saying to me, thank you for your service. And that hit me right there, okay? But since this damn, sorry about that. Since this COVID-19 thing has broke out, I have a new hero, believe me, and I want to say thank you, okay? And that's to all the doctors, nurses, and everybody that's all first responders, everybody on that list, to include toilet paper manufacturers, okay, who has helped with this virus. It is a very deadly thing. I want to personally say from the bottom of my heart, thank you, okay? Now, let's go fishing, okay? Now, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to set this up. I'm going to grab a piece. You can see along through here, everything leaning up against the edge of the boat is something that I put on the boat every day. I call it a boat, but it's a kayak, and go fishing with. There are 4 items that are already pre-installed on the boat that, because they took some time, I wanted you to know about. So, number one, this one right here, and I'll let you see me hooking it up, is the holder for my fish finder. The wires go in inside the hull of the kayak and back to my battery box. The one on this side is the sonar for my fish finder, and I use a Garmin for that. Now, speaking of Garmin, I have to make another statement real quick. 25 years in the Army, and integrity means a major, it's just a major part of my life, okay? Honesty and integrity. Not one single vendor, person, anything like that has sent any single item to me free of charge or whatever that I didn't order and I paid for, unsolicited, we'll put it that way. Everything that I tell you today will be my personal opinion, but it'll be the God's honest truth of my personal opinion, okay? So the other item that I've hooked up, and so far I'm just major impressed with, is the Boondocks wheels, the landing gear as they call them. These things are nothing but made in America, top-notch quality. And after I get going in a little while, I'll show you how they work. But I could take off over that gravel and that stuff over there and run my boat up a boat ramp and throw it up in the back of my truck so easy. And I'm a disabled vet too. Believe me, I do not, I couldn't do it until I got the Boondocks wheels. I had several other kayaks, and we're going to talk about kayaks for a minute. I had several other kayaks, and my wife and every other member of my family didn't think I would come home from my first day of fishing. And on one of them, they were almost right. I got in the kayak, and it was a small one, way too small for me, and I flipped it over within 45 seconds of being in the water. Packed it up on my truck, brought it home, and gave it away, period. Gave it away free. My next one, I got some more heavy duty ones. I've had about 4, and all of this is since March. I've never fished in a kayak. This one now is the Old Town Autopilot 136, okay? And it is the most stable kayak I've ever seen in my life. All right, it takes this motor down here from Minnesota, which is a 45-pound thrust trolling motor. Most of your larger boats that have a trolling motor use a 45-pound thrust. That's the battery box. There are 2 batteries in there. One is for, and it's all pre-wired and everything, comes with it from Old Town. It is pre-wired for my 12-volt battery, and sets in a cubby hole over there underneath the seat and plugs in right there. The motor plugs in up front, and everything else is pre-wired. So let me get over here for a minute, and I will start putting my kayak together to go fishing, maybe even this afternoon. So looks like the weather's going to hold quite nicely for us. Okay, first thing is the Minnesota motor. Without this, I couldn't do this, okay? If it weighed anymore, this motor weighs 24 pounds, and that's it. And the boat weighs the kayak weighs 136 pounds the way it is. I could not carry this kayak anywhere or lift it, even out of the water or anything, without help, until I got my Boondocks wheels. Look how easy that lifts up. And it rolls like a shopping cart. It's just really good. Okay, so let's start with the Minnesota motor. There it is, 24 pounds, quite easy to lift up. When I'm not using the motor, I have a hatch cover to keep the water out, and Old Town has even thought of a place to store the hatch cover. Very, very easy. Set it right down in here, take that out, set it right down in there, and it's now locked in and ready to go. Then all I have to do is attach this. I'm going to undo it right here. There we go. To the motor itself. And now, when I'm ready to get in the water and go, I just pull on, I'm sitting right here, and I just pull on this, push down. That boat is now, or that motor is now to take me wherever I want to go. And it does it with a remote control. And if my remote control battery should run out, okay, oh, there it is. If my remote control battery should run out, there we go, didn't pull it all the way out, then I can get my iPhone, Bluetooth it with a Bluetooth button right here, and control the motor entirely with my Bluetooth iPhone. Now, this is the electric plug. It says on top. It plugs in right here to the boat itself, or kayak again. Tells you how to put it in. Okay. Now, this one is my rod that I use for trolling for trout. And that sits right there beside me. It'll actually go back there when I'm finished. This one is my bait caster. Goes right behind my seat. And this one is my casting rod that'll go right here. Okay. case all else should fail, this is my oar. Open it up here, of course. But I'm going to put this on first. Remember one thing, if at all possible, tether everything. That goes up there, that goes there, and this pulls up and locks my oar in place. Okay. Now, okay, let me get ready for my battery. This is the battery box over here. This is another 24 pounds because it is a lithium-ion battery. Big difference between the weight of that and the lead-acid battery. Now, I need to pull this up here, which I failed to do to start with. Still kind of new at this, but I'm working on it. There we go. Now, put that there and tighten it down. That goes in here. Wires go out of the way. And then this one sits there, but I'm not going to tighten it up quite yet because my seat goes on top of that. Okay. This is my GoPro camera holder. Pull that out, set it down there. That's a Scotty mount and it really works quite well. Okay. Right now this is the front of the boat and I have another camera holder on the front of the boat that'll take care of that. Okay. One of the most important features of the Kayak, a life vest, and I mean one. If you can see this, I'm not bragging by any means. I'm 6'1", 310 pounds. Okay, this is where I can inflate it by myself. It will automatically inflate if I go into the water, or I can inflate it manually by pulling on the shaft. Every day when I get into the water, I open this and I look at the chart, and if I don't see a green ring right there, that means that my biscuit, they call it, on the inside has disintegrated from moisture in the air or something of that nature, and I need a new one. So let's put that up here. Now, this is the sonar for my fish finder. Now I'm gonna push that in there, turn it around this way. There we go. And tighten it down. Okay, now when I am in the water but not fishing, my fish finder or sonar will be up here. I'm sitting right here. All I need to do is just push it over right there, and now the sonar is in the water. Okay. Okay, now what I've done now is I've seated the motor. I plugged the motor in right here. I have seated the battery, locked it down, and plugged the battery in right there. And I also have my kill switch right here. Okay, this is the remote control, and it's really quite easy. If I want it to go left or right, first of all, I'm going to let it lock in by continuing to make that circle. If I wanted to go left or right, it's that easy. If I wanted to have it lock in one place, there's several things I can do. I can increase the speed, which I'm not going to turn it on and run it dry, but you'll see what I'm doing down here. See how it turns the boat around? Okay. I can do it in very small increments. Wonderful motor. Works really, really good. Okay. I won't turn the motor on though, because like I say, it'd be running it dry without any water, and it's not good for the motor, believe me. Okay. So, in order to raise the motor, all I need to do is pull the rod, the cord here, and it's up out of the water completely. Okay. So, and it's locked up. Okay, so now we got the fish finder hooked up, we got the rods up. I'm going to put the chair in place right now. Alright, let me turn the fish finder off, or the this chair is all day comfort from Old Town Kayaks. I can, I'm going to pull the kill switch, boom, just like that. If I fell in the water, I can run it on a low setting, okay? I can run it on a higher setting. I prefer the highest setting. I'm going to lock it in so it doesn't move. And lock her down, okay? I'm going to do the same thing with the back. Pulling the seat up here and locking it in. Okay. Now, that is not going anywhere. Very, very strong, very sturdy. Down a little more. Now, very, very strong seat. Okay. Okay. The Boondocks wheels, I can't show you those till I get them up on the truck and show you there. Okay. This will fit. It's a catch-all box. Will fit right between my legs, right here, and has fishing gear in it, extra tackle, first aid kit, line if I needed, additional hooks. This is another first aid kit that sits right back here. Okay, that keeps my GoPro camera floating if it should fall in the water. Okay, now, okay, what's next? Let's go with here's my telephone, and it's in a waterproof case. So I can control the boat motor. If the batteries in the remote ran low, I can control it with this. If the battery down there ran out, which is not likely, because I could probably go for a solid 8 hours, then I could use my oar to get back on dock with. Okay, and this would go in my waterproof pouch, which is right here. Well, I take it back. That is waterproof, but my two walkie-talkies and my spare kill switch. Lose that, you're in big trouble. Okay, goes in there along with my wallet and anything else. Now, okay, what else? Let's see. Oh, my I'm going to get another Scotty rod holder. But this is the net that I hope to get to use one day. Haven't had to need it yet, but if I do, I'll have it. And that will fit right here behind me in one of the Scotty rod holders. They're about $15 at the most. Okay. Okay. This is my fish stringer, if I should catch some fish, hopefully. And that's going to probably, attach right here onto this ring. And I put it on just like that. And I will turn that up. That'll be good. And now here's the really neat thing. These are both of my tackle boxes here. Okay. And they have a very nice lock in place right here. Whoops, there you go, right there, okay? Okay, now for controlling the boat, really neat, I've got foot controls that if I'm 6'3", I can run these all the way up to the front. You're not seeing that very well, are you? All right. There we go. Now for foot controls, I can control the rudder back in the back. I'm sitting in this chair right here, which you can't see either. Okay. Let's set it up here. Yeah, really, really good. Good thing I can cut, copy, and paste with the video. Okay. Now hopefully that'll see it back in the back. Now, sitting in the chair here, I can pull up or put down, if you see it back here, the rudder with just the flip of the switch here. I'll bring the rudder back up out of the water, and I can control it with my feet. Okay, this is the foot pedals, which will run the rudder quite easily with just the slightest little touch. If I'm tired of my feet being out straight and I want to bend them a little bit, I can just pull this down to here. I can have one foot out, one foot in, but it controls the rudder just exactly the way I want to. When I am not in the water, like I said before, I can pull up my sonar completely out of the water if I'm not using it. This is my telephone, which would go around my neck. And now we get down to scissors. Boom. Okay. Very, very important. A good pair of scissors, which will fit into this notch right here. A good pair of long nose tongs to get the hook out with, that also fits there, and cutters that'll cut the wire. It'll cut several different things, and all of those will be tethered onto the boat. Okay, now let's come back here. I want to show you this one. Okay, first of all, I got one more to add. Okay, getting tired here. All right. All right, we'll add it in a little bit, okay? So much for that. We'll just set it back up in there. Now we come to my lifesaver, okay? What you have to do, if by chance you were able to turn this over, okay? Or if you fell out of it, you have to be able to get back into it. Now, what I could do, if everything was still intact, is I would use the shaft of the motor to turn the kayak back over in the water. Okay, my vest is exploded or blown up and I'm good. And then once I've done that, I'm supposed to be able to throw my body up over the front of the boat or the seat of the boat, and then just work my way into it from there and put my feet down. Easier said than done. Okay, so I invented this thing right here, and what it is, this is tethered to the very back end of the boat. Okay, it's a buoy bumper that goes on larger boats, and it drops over the side to keep you from scratching up the boat when you're coming into dock. But what I've done is that this is tethered to the boat, this is tied on this end, and it's tied on this end. When it goes into the water, it'll be setting just like this. And I'll come up to it, I'll put my foot in it, and I'll push it as far down into the water as I can go. Then I will bend my legs and jump, and this will take about 40 pounds off of my body, helping me to push myself up out of the water to be able to lay across here. Grab that handle over on the far side and lay on the boat. okay? Most important thing is don't panic. Whatever you do, don't panic, okay? So this goes back in here. Boom. And that's the end of that, okay? Hang on a minute. Okay, just to sum it up, I'll give you a real quick look at the boat, and then I'm going to go and put it away. And the next time I'll let you see me load it onto the back of my truck, even as crippled as I am, if you want to call it. Load it on the back of my truck, take it to the water, unload it, and put it in the water, get it out of the water, and back onto the truck again, okay? You'll see what the Boondocks wheels, the difference it made for me, okay? There's the motor itself, the fish finders on this side, the sonars on the other side, the two rods here, my grab box right there, my kill switch, absolute must, and I have a spare kill switch in here, battery for both the fish finder and the trolling motor is under here. There's the controller for it, along with my life preserver. Back here's another catch-all box. I did find a fish finder, or a fish holder, that I put that in, and that's for my net, in case I should need it. I don't want to fall over. There's a rod for my GoPro, and the my life preserver right there. And above all else, my Boondocks wheels. I just want to say something real quick. You see this plate right here? You'd think this and this are the only two bolts holding it to the boat, and essentially you're right, but it's a very strong grade stainless steel boat, and underneath here on the other side of this hull is a 1/2 inch thick piece of what I call cutting board plastic, and it runs from here the same width as this all the way down to here, so that when there's pressure on the wheels, it applies more pressure up here. On the other side of that plate, that cutting board plate, is a piece of 3/8 inch thick high grade stainless steel that mounts, and it's about this wide, and it mounts from here a little bit over this all the way to the other end of this. So you've got this with long screws going into the high grade plastic, going into the high grade stainless steel, and bolted up there, and then these bolted on there. Later on, I'll show you how easy it is when I'm in the water, sitting in that chair. I reach behind me and I just pull this wheel out when I'm floating, turn it, shove it right back in there, and the wheels are out of the water, sitting up in the air. Okay, it's that easy. I cannot say enough about Boondocks, nor can I say enough about the Old Town 136, which is 13 foot 6 inches from bow to stern. Okay, and I just, like I say, I'm 6'1", 310 pounds, and that kayak is so stable for me. It's just unbelievable. In the bottom, there's 3, 6, 7, 8. Whoops, get it up here. 8 scupper holes here. Another one underneath the battery. 2 or 3 more back here, as you can see them back over there. If this thing got hit with a wave from another boat coming over, all the water would drain out within 30 seconds. It's just that good, and that's even with me on it. With me on it, I barely see the water come up in the scupper hole a 1/2 inch. Okay, so anyhow, can't say enough about Old Town, and certainly can't say enough about Boondocks wheels. And a reminder again, they did not pay for me to say that. They did not send me anything free. If they do send me something free, I will probably send it back to them. Okay, so that's the end of it. Boom. One more quick statement. Thank you again for the doctors, the nurses, and any first line responder, and just all the way down. Anybody who has helped with this pandemic, you have my eternal thanks. Thank you.